I will admit, when I am on the golf course, my tongue gets the better of me and I say words you should not say. Words, in fact, that would get me fired on radio. And I have a problem with the casual vulgarity more and more Americans are using. The people who put bumper stickers on the back of their car with expletives, or the mass chants of F Joe Biden when they say the word, not just F. I find it to be not good, to be a sign of societal decay that we are willing to be that degenerate in our open language. I really do. And I do feel strongly about it. It's one thing for you and your friends to utter expletives with each other, but when it becomes casual within culture, the vulgarity of culture, I think it's something we shouldn't applaud. Whether you think it's honest or not, I don't think we in casual society should be, in general, uttering those words for public consumption with children's ears around. I don't. That's why I really like Let's Go Brandon. I think Let's Go Brandon serves the exact same purpose without the vulgarity. The Washington Post has decided to explore this phenomenon. On a quiet street south of downtown Boise, Michael Dick has festooned his front yard with homemade signs, including a large yellow placard that facetiously thanks Joe Biden for a growing list of grievances: $4 a gallon of gas, inflation, Afghanistan, COVID-19. In capital letters and black marker, Dick, age 59, recently added dead civilians and dead U.S. soldiers to his bill of particulars. In another part of town, alongside a no trespassing sign, Michael Schwartz, 60, uses black spray paint to scrawl "Joe blows" across an electric pink poster board. And that's mild compared to the sentiments some people, largely in conservative areas, are expressing in their front yards and on the signs they lug with them to greet Biden as he travels the country. On Wednesday, when the president visited Scranton, Pennsylvania, he was greeted at the corner of Biden Street by a woman holding a handmade F Joe Biden sign. She wrote out the word, with an American flag as the vowel in the offending word. And back in Boise, Rod Johnson, a retired gunsmith, has hung a blue flag from the roof of his home that reads F Biden. Underneath, in smaller letters, he adds an FU for voting for him. "I'm not the only Republican who doesn't like Biden," Johnson, 68, said in an interview, sporting a red Proud White American hat and puffing a skinny cigar. "I just chose to show it." In fact, around the country, there's been a level of vulgarity embraced by Trump supporters against Joe Biden, including the "Let's Go Brandon" chant. And a lot of people just shouting FJB. A buddy of mine has a hat. It's got an American flag, and next to it says FJB. I thought that was very clever. And they're upset that they put that much energy into getting Joe Biden across the finish line, and y'all have not embraced your Messiah. This is on you. This is shameful for you. And it's all, according to them, Donald Trump's fault because, Donald Trump referred to immigrants from S-hole countries. He tweeted Mitt Romney was a pompous a-hole. He said all sorts of vulgarities, and so now Trump's followers are embracing the vulgarity. Mike Murphy, a Republican strategist and Trump critic, says one of the many legacies of the Trump presidency is he normalized angry speech. Trump and our culture in general have beaten decorum out of politics, so now it's just angry rage therapy. I'm old enough to remember the day Trump got elected and people wearing pink knitted hats that were to be emblematic of a woman's female reproductive organs set fire to limousines in the streets of Washington and uttered profanity to try to drown out Trump's inaugural speech. I'm old enough to remember people referring to Donald Trump as the Antichrist and using all sorts of vulgarity about him. I'm old enough to remember the Saturday Night Live skits that use vulgarity about Trump. I'm old enough to remember the comic stand-up lines that were embraced by progressives across the country, using all sorts of profanity, horrible words to describe not just Donald Trump, but his wife, too. And of course, the media, this story in the Washington Post, they try to get to a little bit of that yes, it's true. People said not nice things about Donald Trump. But they blame Trump for it. And they blame you for it. So according to these reporters in the White House, they didn't even know about Let's Go Brandon. They had no idea. Administration officials sought to downplay the phenomenon, and at least one claimed to be unfamiliar with the Let's Go Brandon chant or its cruder cousin, though they are now chanted everywhere, from football stadiums to concert arenas to local bars. I had never heard of that chant until you explained it to me, said White House spokesman Andrew Bates. I guess I've not spent enough time on 8chan or whatever. They don't like, the media does not like, and they can't be fair about it. They can't be honest about it. They can't go through the litany of horrors comparing George W. Bush to a Nazi, comparing George W. Bush to Hitler, to the horrible things said about George W. Bush. They only care about these things when it happens to their side. And it is, by the way, their side. The Democrats are the media's side. The horrible things were said about George W. Bush and about Dick Cheney. Remember all the awful racist things said about Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice by the left? And it was all forgotten. And then when Barack Obama, those people are racist. Those Republicans are racist. Here are the things they're saying about Barack Obama. It's like, I was hearing these things from you guys about Condi Rice and Colin Powell and Clarence Thomas. I don't like the vulgarity. I don't think we should normalize it. But it's really rich for the media to run these stories about it when they ignored all of it against Donald Trump. They ignored all of it against George W. Bush. They ignore all of it against conservatives and Republicans, but only when they're chosen, their Mahdi, their Messiah, the man who would rescue them from the guy who hated the media. Only when people start chanting, "Let's go Brandon" to him, does the media care about the chants and the vulgarity. Otherwise, the media celebrates the vulgarity. They celebrate it. They write op-eds about it. They're happy with it when it happens to you and me and the people we support. It's their side. You can't do it to them. And see, this is why it's going to become worse. This is why we're going to see our own purges of some kind in politics these days. Because when the cultural elite in this country are perfectly happy with the abuse and the invective and the chants and the vulgarity, but only when directed against the people they don't like, you have a lot of Americans who will embrace it even further and amplify it even further and escalate it even further as a big middle finger back to those guys. And I may not like it, but I at least understand what's going on.